So several months ago, Ruth reached out to me to ask if I could please commit to being here on this day. All right, so do we have a microphone? No?
Sorry, we thought we were going to.
Yeah, let's do that. Plus, it makes you get up and get some BDNF moving through your body. So yes, please come up. Stand up, come forward. BDNF, for those of you who don't know what that means, that's brain-derived neurotrophic factors. You can only get that protein moving through your system by moving. And it's essential to support the health of your brain. So yes, normally, for those of you who've been to other presentations, you know that what I do is I invite everyone to stand up and to move and to get your body flowing and to get your brain activated. What I wanted to share is that several months ago when Ruth reached out and asked if I could please come here. So I live in Boston, I teach at Harvard, and I'm here for the Brain Health Initiative. And so I go back and forth. I didn't know if I could commit to this day. It's very hard for me to know when I'm going to be where. I wanted so much to be here because I genuinely have learned so much about what the Manatee healthcare system, what the Alliance is doing, and we want to be active and to participate. And so Ruth and I discussed a potential topic, and earlier this week I said, you know what, could we do something completely out of the box? Could I please not talk about neuroplasticity or any of the normal stuff that I talk about? Could we have a break? Could we talk about the power of gratitude? So what's really fascinating is that everywhere I go, somebody wants to know, what's the magic pill? How can we protect the health of our brain? How can we promote optimal performance? How can we decrease risk of brain illness? They want a pill. And unfortunately, the magic pill is not here yet. But what is here is the power of lifestyle. We now have volumes of peer-reviewed scientific evidence, rigorous evidence that demonstrates that through living a brain-healthy lifestyle, you can reduce the risk of brain illness by 40%. That's huge. If we went around, and sometimes I do this, and have you all stand up and sit down and do all kinds of things to demonstrate potential illnesses or symptoms that you might be experiencing associated with brain illness, you quickly recognize, just as we learned in our last presentation, that brain health is about all of us. If you have a brain, your health of your brain is about you. And you have to have a brain to be here in this room today. So brain health is about all of us. And just as you learned from Lonnie, brain illness is about most of us. At Massachusetts General Hospital, we have a saying that says no home goes untouched. Whether you have, across the course of your lifetime, a diagnosis of a brain illness, or whether you care for someone with a brain illness, it is touching every home. No home goes untouched. And so it's through advances in public health, it's through advances in modern medicine, it's through advances in neuroscience that for the first time we are able to use the words prevention and brain illness in the same sentence. And it's not about a magic pill. It is about the lifestyle that we live. And that includes many aspects. That includes nutrition. That includes physical activity versus a sedentary lifestyle. That includes social engagement. That includes stress resilience. It includes sleep and other factors. So normally I'm talking about the implications of all of those lifestyles to the protection, the physiological protection of the brain and to the performance of our brain. And Ruth and I had agreed on a topic that includes some really cool stuff about the science that we're involved in, that includes information about community engagement, what we're doing in the community with our schools for brain health, and many other aspects. That includes what we're doing globally with the World Economic Forum. So that's what I was set to talk about. And then earlier this week, I thought, what are we doing? There was just so much that was happening in the environment that I was watching our community, whether that be the community at campus in Cambridge, whether that be the community here, whether that be macro or micro communities, I'm watching this attitude that was hurting my heart. I was affected by what I was observing. And I thought, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that is observing this, and you may not know what you're observing, and even more important, we have the opportunity to do something about it. And so I asked, would it be okay if I talked about the neuroscience of gratitude? That's just one. So in terms of what we call the pillars of brain health, emotional well-being, what you were just learning about from Lonnie, that is an important protective factor of brain health. And under emotional well-being, gratitude, being grateful, is one of the interventions. And so, I asked if we could spend some time talking about gratitude. I was supposed to conclude at noon.
Keep going.
Okay, all right.
If someone needs to leave, they will, but most
Okay.
people can stay.
Okay, all right. So, being a teacher on a campus called Harvard University, I am accustomed to making sure that my students have the tools to learn what we're sharing. And so you all have the opportunity to participate in an exercise while you're sitting here today. The first page tells you a little bit about the Brain Health Initiative, but then you turn it over. I could make this a quiz. I could make this a pop quiz. Instead, I'm going to encourage you to follow along with me. And as I'm sharing the information that could be a quiz, by the way, we just created this. None of this is planned, but you could fill in the blank so that when you go home, how do you learn? You learn by teaching. So when you go home, I'd like you, or you go somewhere, I recognize I should not have said home, I just remembered that, and I've been trained not to say that, but look what I just said. When you go somewhere, or you can turn to the person sitting next to you, what I want you to do is to share what you learned today. To take this with you so that we can have this ripple effect about the science of gratitude. So we recognize that the holidays, here they are, right? They are a time each year to pause. And it's a time for us to share our gratitude in our lives, to be grateful for what we have. You see, great gratitude encourages brain health, and it fights brain illness by amplifying the good in our lives. It is that feeling of appreciation, it's that feeling of gratefulness and of graciousness. It involves taking time to recognize and to express thanks and to give kindness in return. To be grateful is to be aware of and thankful for the good things that happen. It involves taking time to recognize and acknowledging receipt of something of value. That can be a smile, eye contact, a hug, a gift, a favor, a blessing. To feel thankful for it, whatever it might be, and then to be inclined to give kindness in return. The point of practicing both feeling and expressing gratitude is to change your perspective. You see, what I teach my students, what I teach my kids, and I now have a baby grandchild, my first. What I teach everyone that I care for, that I care about, is that gratitude really is an attitude. And that may be a platitude. I like that pun. But it happens to be true. By becoming aware of what you have to be grateful for, you will find more and more to be grateful for. You will become less pessimistic. We all can get there, by the way. Whether our glass is normally half full or half empty, we can all get to a point where we're kind of feeling something, and it can be pessimism. But guess what? We can change that around. We can be less pessimistic and more optimistic, and we can learn to see that glass as half full rather than half empty. This change in attitude and perspective supports brain health and fights brain illness, opening you up to greater happiness, to greater health and well-being at the physiological level. There's a lot of science out here that supports this, and it's so simple. And it's not about a pill that comes with side effects. The side effects, however, are big. We all have the ability, and what I say is we have the opportunity, the ability, and more importantly, for each of us in this room, and for all of us that we care for, we even have the responsibility to cultivate a grateful herd. We are a grateful herd. We are a herd. We can be grateful or ungrateful, but we are a herd. So, what I want to share is that looking at your handout, looking at your quiz, your pop quiz, that first of all, brain health matters and lifestyle makes a difference. At the top of page 2, you see a few places to write some responses. So, one thing I want you to take away from here today is that I want you to stand up for brain health. I want you to optimize brain performance, and I want you to disrupt brain illness. Disrupt. I want you to be disrupted. You have permission to be disrupted. So I want you to stand up for brain health because you can, and you learned a lot about that from Lonnie today. I want you to optimize your brain performance, and I want you to have the tools to disrupt brain illness. So how do we do this? The first step toward a meaningful brain healthy holiday, that's where it says, what's the first step? And you have 2 spaces to fill in. So the first step toward a brain healthy holiday, it's called good enough. Good enough. You all know what I mean by that. The first step toward a meaningful brain healthy holiday and a brain healthy life is acknowledging that it may be hard. This holiday, for many of us, may be different than what you want it to be. It may not be what you want. Amid the hustle, what I encourage you is to try to pause and reflect on the meaning of the holidays. Instead of planning the perfect celebration, aim for, fill in the blanks.
Good enough.
Good enough. Thank you. Slow down. Be present in the moment. And take time to actually enjoy. Your families, your friends, and the traditions. or the new traditions that you create. So second, another fill in the blank, what do you have to be
Grateful.
Yes, thank you. What do you have to be grateful for? That's the second step. It is just so easy, isn't it, to take everything for granted? Having a feast a few weeks ago, having a feast once a year, you see, that's not enough to increase your brain health. It might have supported you for a moment, but it's not good enough to support your brain health throughout the year. So what do you have to be grateful for? So how about being alive, for starters? It's nothing to take for granted. How about that you can breathe deeply? We have a colleague in the audience who suffers a communication disorder of aphasia. As a neuropsychologist, I've treated thousands of patients with aphasia, with dysphagia. Oh my goodness. We have a lot to be grateful for. That you have a mind for thinking, that you have a body for doing, that the sun is shining, and it freely gives us light, it gives us warmth, it gives us energy, it actually even makes our food. If you happen to watch the sun rise or the sun set, that might be a good occasion to feel grateful. Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food in the fridge? A smile to share? These are all things to be grateful for. And they can so easily be taken for granted. So, second, what do you have to be
Grateful.
for? What I want you to do is to just take a moment to think about one thing that you are grateful for at this very moment and write it down. So what's the third step towards living an attitude of gratitude, towards enjoying the benefits of a grateful life from a brain health perspective? And remember, when we talk about the brain, we're talking about the brain, the mind, and the body. That's what's really cool about what I do. Whatever I talk about, it's about all of you. It's about your entire person. It's not just about your heart, or your gut, or your liver. When I talk about the brain, it's about all of you. When you talk about the brain, it's about your entire self. Oftentimes people don't realize that. Most people don't realize that brain health is health. Most people don't realize that there's anything they can do about the health of their brain, or that there's anything that's going on with their brain until it suddenly is not working. And they have symptoms and they wonder. So brain health is health. And brain health matters. And that takes us to our third, why does it matter? What I want you to take away from today is that I want you to recognize and this may not be as easy as some of the others. What do I want you to recognize? The benefits. I want you to recognize the benefits of being grateful. The third step of living a brain healthy life of gratitude is to understand the physical, the mental, and the emotional benefits of being grateful. And remember, it's just so simple. And no side effects, no negative side effects. So living a brain healthy life of appreciation and thankfulness has many life healing and protective benefits. In fact, some research has found that one of the greatest contributing factors to happiness is how much gratitude you show. Imagine that. We oftentimes look all around, what's going to give us happiness? What can we buy? What can we do? And guess what? The research demonstrates that it's really about how much gratitude that you show that will impact how happy you feel. When you focus on gratitude, you encourage many other brain healthy benefits. These habits help you cultivate brain and body health. They increase your happiness and your overall well-being for yourself and those around you. It has a ripple effect. When you carry yourself, think about how you carry yourself throughout the day. When you carry yourself with positive, grateful energy, it has a ripple effect on those around you who are then able to share that positivity onward and outward to the next person and the next. A BHI friend recently described that as a herd effect. You heard me speak about it a few minutes ago. Creating a brain healthy herd begins with each of you. In your handout that you're going to receive at the end, there's a video that I would like to inspire each of you to view when you go home. It's about 7 minutes. It's a video, it's a science experiment actually, and it's about the power of gratitude. I share it with all of my students. For the last 12 years, every single one of my Harvard students has watched this video. It doesn't matter what our subject is, because I so believe in the power of gratitude and its implication to our health and to our performance and to our well-being. So all of my students watch this video. It's wonderful, and I really inspire you to take a few minutes to watch it. It's a science experiment, and I'm kind of a nerd about that. So how does gratitude help you lead a brain healthy life? Science, again, is showing us that there are many great benefits of being grateful. So here comes the next fill in the blank. So how does it impact you? The science demonstrates that by living an attitude of gratitude, it reduces selfishness. You pick the ones you want to write down. We gave you a space for 3, but I'm going to give you several just so that you feel empowered to remember the importance. I'll wait until the music stops. Intermission. No worries, take your time. Take your time. We're all good here. Being grateful reduces envy.
I'm thankful for her.
It reduces envy and jealousy. It decreases pain. So if you have a patient or someone that you know, or maybe yourself, that has a pain syndrome, encourage them to be more grateful. It decreases depression and anxiety. It improves physical and emotional health and well-being. It strengthens friendships. It encourages humility. It increases fulfillment. It boosts resilience to stress. It increases empathy. It strengthens self-esteem. It improves sleep. I remember someone in the back raising their hand about sleep. And it increases your happiness. Wow, that's just by living an attitude of gratitude. So what's the 4th step? I'll pause for a moment so you can write down your top 3 reasons you want to live a grateful life.
Change your attitude, change your gratitude.
Change your, I love it. Oh, these are great responses. I have one that I'm going to share. It's called changing your perspective. You got it. Changing your perspective. The 4th point of practicing both feeling and expressing gratitude is to change your perspective. I've already said gratitude is an attitude. It is true. By becoming aware of what you have to be grateful for. I'm repeating that because it's important. Again, you will become less pessimistic and more optimistic. We all again, I think this is really important. We have the opportunity, we have the ability, and we have the responsibility to cultivate a grateful herd. So what's the fifth? Anyone want to take a stab at these three words before I share? All right. So the fifth is express and practice. Express and practice. Those three words, express and practice a lifestyle of gratitude. People feel and express gratitude in multiple ways. They can apply it to the past. That's the ability to retrieve positive memories and to be thankful for elements maybe from our childhood or from past blessings. But if you're having a hard time identifying something you're grateful for, take a moment to think about the past. You can also look at this moment. Look at the present. Not taking good fortune for granted as it comes. And you can also experience the attitude of gratitude by looking out at the future, maintaining a hopeful and optimistic attitude. Come back, we're happy to have you back. Regardless of the inherent or the current level of someone's gratitude, it's a quality that individuals can successfully cultivate. What's our sixth? I just gave it away. Remember that gratitude can be cultivated. Gratitude is a way for people to appreciate what they have instead of always reaching for something new in hopes that will make them happier, or thinking they can't feel satisfied until every physical and mental need or want is met. Gratitude helps people refocus on what they have instead of what they lack. And although it may feel contrived, this mental state grows and grows with use and with practice. So, what can you do? I'm going to give you a short list. It's kind of long, but to give you some ideas of how you can walk out of here today and start encouraging others to live an even more grateful life. So we've already talked about acknowledging and managing expectations. That's really important for all of us. It helps us to be more grateful and less concerned with being perfect. It's about being good enough. We can reach out. If you can't celebrate with others in person during the holiday or just on any day, reach out, celebrate virtually, find a way to connect, reach out to friends, to family, to strangers. Some of you I know, most of you are strangers, but that sense of connection supports the health of your brain. How easy is this? Say thank you. Expressing your appreciation for the impact that someone has had on you can make you happier and nurture your relationship with that person. Try telling someone thank you at least once a week. I think that's way too low. I think we should be trying to find some way to say thank you at least once an hour, because guess what? There's something happening always for us to be thankful for. If you don't have time to send a thank you note, thank people mentally. The science demonstrates that just by thinking thankful thoughts, it supports our brain health. Think about what that person has done to make your life better and send them a mental high five if you can't give them one in person, or a fist bump. And don't forget to thank yourself. We oftentimes forget to be grateful and to say thank you for what we do. You can also write a thank you note. You can make yourself happier and nurture a relationship with another person by actually physically writing a thank you letter or an email expressing your enjoyment and your appreciation of that person's impact on your life. You'll learn more about that in the science experiment. You can send it, or better yet, you can deliver it. You can deliver it in person, if possible, for the greatest benefit to your brain health and also to theirs. Make a habit of sending at least one gratitude letter a month. Imagine what can happen. Thanking 12 people that have been a part of your life over the course of the year. Imagine the impact to the other as well as to yourself. And then remember that power of the herd effect and the ripple effect. Look for opportunities together to share stories and to practice gratitude for those in your life. You can volunteer. Today, I had the blessing of one of your colleagues say, what can I do to help the Brain Health Initiative? And suddenly, I had an idea. And I'm hoping that person is going to take the opportunity to become a really important part of our Brain Health Scholar Program. Volunteering. You see, trying to find ways to make the holidays more positive, it's not just about gifts, or I don't even think it really is about gifts that you buy, but it's about gifts. And it can be as simple as a hug. Plan something that gives meaning to the day, such as volunteering to serve or deliver meals to those who are less fortunate. Helping those in need can boost your spirits and help you see the positive happening in your own life. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things a day before you go to sleep at night that you're grateful for. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't sleep, write down another something that you're grateful for. Count your blessings. Pray. Make a gratitude visit. Meditate. I've provided in your handout a step-by-step process so that you can meditate and have a formula. Listen to music and share a song, or create a playlist with another. Our Brain Health Scholars created a playlist, songs of gratitude, appreciation, and gracefulness, and it's in your handout. You have a link to it. We encourage you to also, if you want another solution, to watch films that inspire gratitude. And we've suggested 3 that were selected, again, by our Brain Health Scholars. From all of us at the Brain Health Initiative, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the science of gratitude, to disrupt brain illness, to stand up for brain health, and to optimize brain performance. May you make, may you experience, and may you benefit from a meaning-filled holiday season. And equally important, may you carry that out through this next year. We want you to become involved with the Brain Health Initiative, and there are so many opportunities to do so. You're going to receive a link so that you can go to the initiative website and say you'd like to volunteer, and we'll be in touch with you. I want you to walk out of here today and to remember that brain health matters, and your lifestyle makes a big difference. I want you to remember that brain health is health, and I want you to become a brain health ambassador. Again, we want you to stand up for brain health. We want you to optimize brain performance, and we want you to disrupt brain illness. And you have the power to do that. We're gonna share a short video.
Actually, we're more than a half hour beyond time, so I'm afraid they're going to, we have a video that is outstanding,
It's a second
absolutely.
video.
But I think we're going to need to close at this point. I do so apologize.
Can it be turned on while they're leaving?
Yes,
Okay,
can we
how
turn
do
it
we do
on?
that?
I'll turn that on.
We
after
will
everyone-
turn it on because it's absolutely fabulous.